Well, the image quality is terrible, but it'll have to do. Greetings, everybody. Wilfie here. It's been a while. Been pretty busy. Just wanted to chime in and say I'm not dead. Efforts to the contrary notwithstanding. Although, you can see behind me, the uh, the cats are certainly working hard to make life interesting. Get out of the way. That is McKinley. Ah, and that is not going to say whose laptop that is. It's my work laptop. Uh, he's not hurting anything. But down below him on the floor, by that danger sign that Simba is not reading, is Simba. Simba and McKinley do not like each other. Anyway, lots of stuff going on at Casa de Wilfie. Um, most of it boring. New floors. Um, building up my data room finally. And that's almost ready to show. I just have a few more things to do, and then we can start diving into fun stuff like DFS and Ceph and all the stuff I've been putting off for over a year. I just wanted to babble a little bit about something kind of unrelated that is still just cracking me up. So there is a stupid slap fight skirmish going on between uh, the idiots at Linus Tech Tips and the um, less stupid folks over at Gamer Nexus. I'm giving them shit. Gamers Nexus is actually pretty good. Steve, known as Tech Jesus, I guess got a little bit tired of Linus's garbage and decided to call him out on a couple things or a few things. And I'm not surprised that LTT is a shit show run by greedy morons because they've really never been all that good at actual tech tips. Go figure. That screwdriver thing, such a ripoff and very scammy. And they've done some other crap too. I knew they were idiots when they demonstrated setting up a ZFS file system RAID 5 style across 45 disks. There's you don't do that. Not a there are technical explanations as to why you don't do that. Mainly it will eat your disks and you will lose your data, being the two most important ones. But, doesn't matter. They went and did it because they're retards. And it failed, of course. Then they decided, oh, it must have been a fluke. So they did the same thing again. It failed again. And so for the third fucking time, they've done the same thing now 3 times. So they're complete morons. And they've also done videos like, is Linux ready for the desktop yet? And then they proceed to spaz out for 20 minutes doing deliberately stupid things. Meanwhile, 60-year-olds out there are running Linux just fine on their desktops. I had my dad set up on Linux 20 years ago, and with a dial-up modem, and he was happy with that thing. That computer crashed less than anything he's had since. He still remembers it. And he's got Alzheimer's now, which that's another shit thing that kind of sucks I have to deal with. That I don't mean that to sound like, oh, poor me. I'm just saying it's that was a shitty day when we all learned that last week. But at any rate, so Linus has always been a jackass and has made a bunch of very silly decisions. And they're the stuff they post on YouTube is ridiculous anyway. This back and forth between Steve and Linus, though, it points out this really silly argument that I've seen come up with a bunch of different situations, different online disputes. And it's this. Why didn't you've got my number, you've got my wife's number, why didn't you call me so we could handle this privately? Why go public with all this? Well, you go public with something when private communications haven't solved the problem. Also, not if you know somebody is a serial killer, and that is not what I'm saying about Anybody involved in this, it's just an example. Fuck off. Um, if you know your next door neighbor is a serial killer, you really think it's a good move to talk to him in private and say, hey, you know, I know you got bodies buried out back, and I think that's pretty bad. Not that I mind you as a person. I think you're a great guy, except for this whole killing thing. I just thought we could talk about it between us so we don't have to get the police involved, and maybe I could get you to stop. You think you're going to live to see tomorrow? Get real. There are times you do not go just back channel your way to a solution, because there is no solution. It's not like there's a dispute between the two companies. LTT is busy fucking other companies. I don't think it had anything to do with Steve. I think Steve just got sick of their shit. And whenever a scumbag says, why didn't you handle this privately? It's, you know the answer. And you also know why they're asking the question. It's, you're embarrassing me. Why are you doing this? And, you know, there's a very simple solution to that particular problem. If you're doing stuff that's a little bit unsavory that you don't want people to go public about, try not doing that thing. How hard would it have been to return that stupid cooling thing back to that prototype, back to that company that lent it to you? Just that just an example of the scummy things they do, but you know, if you hadn't done that, Linus, it wouldn't have come out. Funny how that works. Go figure. If you don't want to get done for murder, don't kill people. Yeah, whatever. I just thought it was silly, and I wanted to point and laugh at everybody involved. I want to channel the late great Norm Macdonald, one of his bits from Saturday Night Live. I'm going to butcher this quote. It was something to the effect of, you know, this might be a controversial opinion, but I firmly believe that it'd be a better situation if everyone involved was dead. I don't want Tech Jesus to die. That would be sad. But the Leafs up there in good old Canada at Linus Tech Tips, yeah, they can die in a fire. We have enough scumbags in the world. We don't need more. Certainly don't need more with a budget. At any rate, I'm going to go. This webcam quality is god-awful, and I don't want to subject you to any more of it. So, in the coming weeks, I'm about at the end of a long road of getting all the tech together and room made for it. To give a teaser, I received 10 of these mailing yesterday. They are 900 gigabyte 2.5-inch SAS drives. I've got 10 of them, 2 spares, and 8 to go in the chassis from one of my Proliant DL380 Gen 7. Is a big beast, and he holds discs. So I'm going to set him up. I've got all the parts, including the card and the astonishingly expensive SAS breakout cable. This was $150. Good luck finding that on Amazon, by the way. Fuck you, Amazon, for having such a garbage search engine. But anyway, cables, interface card. I got myself a tape library for $500. It's got 1 robot, 2 LTO5 drives in it, and 48 cartridge slots. Yeah. And the rails to rack mount it, too. I've got that. All the MikroTik stuff all set up. We're getting close to finally having a decent data slinging network and supporting systems. So I'll be documenting all of that and finally lead into building a Ceph cluster. I've not given that up, and it's going to get silly from here. I don't recommend anybody ever do what I'm doing because it's taken forever and no one should ever really need to do this, but that's what makes it fun. So that's it for now. That's almost at the 10-minute mark, so take it easy, everybody, and I will catch you guys a bit later. Take care.